Everything happens for a reason. How life's events shape you. Written and published by United Sports. There are moments in life when the heart breaks quietly, without a sound. Moments when things fall apart without warning, when plans crumble, and the world feels confusing. But what if those moments weren't random? What if every twist, every turn, every tear, and every triumph was part of a greater design shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you were before? That's not just a comforting thought. It's a truth that millions come to realize only after life's storms have passed. Everything happens for a reason. And today, United Sports is here to walk you through that truth in a way you've never heard before. From the day a person is born, life begins stitching together invisible threads. Events, people, challenges, and victories, all forming the fabric of who they are meant to become. The beauty of these threads is that they aren't always visible while life is happening. They show up in hindsight, when the chaos starts to make sense. What once felt like rejection turns out to be redirection. What once felt like a loss becomes the very foundation of a greater gain. United Sports believes that these invisible threads are not accidents. They are the hands of destiny, gently pulling each person toward their purpose. Sometimes, the hardest moments in life are the ones that shape us the most. A broken friendship, a failed exam, a missed opportunity, or a painful goodbye, all feel like endings when they arrive. But over time, they are revealed as beginnings. They are the rough patches in the story that refine the character of the main hero, you. Life doesn't shape you in comfort, it molds you in challenge. And that molding isn't cruel, it's necessary. A person doesn't grow by always getting what they want. They grow by learning how to handle what they didn't expect. When something goes wrong, it's easy to ask, why me? But the better question is, what is this teaching me? The answer to that question often holds the key to your next breakthrough. The purpose of pain isn't to break you, but to build you. The journey isn't about avoiding struggle. It's about learning how to transform through it. And this is what separates those who drift through life from those who truly live it. One of the greatest lessons anyone can learn is that patience and faith go hand in hand. Sometimes, life doesn't answer your questions right away. Sometimes, it stays silent. But silence doesn't mean there's no plan. It means the plan is still unfolding. Trusting the process doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you believe the answers are coming, even if you can't see them yet. This is the power of believing in the invisible threads. The strongest people you've ever met didn't have easy journeys. They had quiet battles, hidden wounds, and countless moments of doubt. But what kept them moving was the belief that their pain wasn't pointless. They didn't allow circumstances to define them. They allowed it to develop them. And this mindset, it's a choice. It's available to anyone who decides to see their life as a journey of purpose, not just random events. Too often, people look back at the past and carry regret like a heavy backpack. But what they don't realize is that every wrong turn also taught them something vital. That failed relationship showed them what love truly is. That job they lost taught them resilience. That time they were alone taught them strength. Nothing is wasted, not even the hard moments. They all have value. They all have meaning. And when viewed through the lens of growth, they become gifts. When the world tells you that you failed, life may actually be setting you up for something better. Closed doors are not the end. They are sometimes detours toward the right doors. You didn't get what you wanted? Maybe you're being prepared for something greater than you imagined. That's why it's important to stay open, stay grounded, and stay faithful, because your story is still being written. There's something powerful that happens when you begin to trust that nothing in your life is random. You walk differently. You carry yourself with quiet confidence. You stop rushing. You stop comparing. You begin to understand that your timeline is unique, and that comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20 only creates confusion, not clarity. United Sports believes that peace comes when you accept the path you're on, knowing that it's shaping exactly who you're meant to be. As this audiobook continues, it will dive deeper into how pain has purpose, how setbacks are setups for growth, and how even the moments of confusion and silence are part of a meaningful story. But it all starts here, with the belief that everything happens for a reason. Without this foundation, it becomes difficult to see the beauty in life's imperfections. With it, you begin to find power in your past and purpose in your present. So if you're going through something right now, if you feel lost, tired, rejected, or unsure. Remember this. Your current chapter is not the end of your story. It's just one thread in a greater design. You might not see the full picture today, but trust that it's coming together in ways you can't yet imagine. Hold on. Heal. Grow. Because everything you're experiencing now is shaping you for the person you're becoming. This is only the beginning. In the next part, we will explore how pain, often feared and misunderstood, becomes the fuel for transformation. So stay with us. Let these words sink in. And most importantly, believe that your life has purpose, even when the road is unclear. This is United Sports, and we thank you for walking this journey with us. If this message touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to United Sports for more powerful, life-changing content. There's so much more ahead, and you won't want to miss it. Pain has a purpose. Pain has a strange way of entering life. Uninvited, unannounced, and often at the worst possible moment. But as heavy as it feels, pain is not here to destroy. It is here to awaken. It wakes up the parts of a person that comfort had put to sleep. It stirs the soul, forcing growth, demanding strength, and preparing the heart for something greater. In the first part, we explored how everything happens for a reason. Now it's time to understand that pain, one of the most difficult experiences in life, is not a punishment. It is a powerful tool for transformation. It carries lessons that comfort could never teach. It builds the foundation of character, depth, and understanding. When someone is in pain, it feels like time stands still. The heart races, the mind fills with doubt, and the future looks uncertain. But it is in those moments, when everything feels broken, that something new begins to form. Pain becomes the start of a new version of the self, one that is more grounded, aware, and compassionate. People don't discover their strength when everything is easy. They discover it when life challenges them to rise, to adapt, and to overcome. Pain teaches patience. It teaches perspective. It slows things down so a person can see clearly what matters, who matters, and what no longer serves their life anymore. Sometimes, pain shows up to remove what was never meant to stay. A toxic relationship, a draining environment, a false belief. It comes in and breaks things apart, not to hurt, but to rebuild stronger. What feels like a collapse is often a correction. What looks like a breakdown is often a breakthrough in disguise. In the silence of pain, a person hears their true self more clearly. There are no distractions, no noise, just raw truth. It's uncomfortable, yes, but in that discomfort lies clarity. The kind of clarity that rewrites a person's values, priorities, and dreams. That's why pain, though unwanted, is deeply necessary. Think about the strongest people you admire. They didn't become who they are by running from pain. They became who they are by walking through it, facing it, and learning from it. Pain introduced them to a deeper level of themselves, a strength they didn't know they had, a resilience they had never used. Pain also creates empathy. When someone has suffered, they understand others more deeply. They speak with kindness. They listen with care. They know what it's like to hurt, and that knowledge softens their spirit in the best way. It connects people. It creates unity through shared struggle. It's easy to say that pain has purpose after the healing is done, but the real challenge is trusting in the purpose while still hurting. That takes courage. It takes faith. It takes the belief that today's storm is preparing you for tomorrow's sunshine. That belief, even when small, is powerful. Pain doesn't leave a person the same. It changes how they see the world. It strips away illusions and brings them closer to what's real. It forces simplicity. Suddenly, small moments matter more. Peace becomes a priority. Love becomes louder. And fake things fade away. When life hurts, people are pushed to stop and reflect. They ask questions. Deep ones. Questions like, what do I truly want? Or, who am I becoming? These questions are not just important. They are life-changing. They shift a person's direction and help them walk toward a more meaningful path. There's a quiet kind of power in not giving up when life gets hard, and still showing up, and still trying, and still believing. That consistency, even when fueled by pain, becomes a force that moves mountains. It creates stories of courage that inspire others long after the pain has passed. Pain also teaches humility. It reminds us that we don't control everything, that sometimes we must surrender. Not give up, but let go. Let go of the need to have all the answers. Let go of timelines. Let go of what we thought should happen. This surrender opens the door to peace. Some people avoid pain at all costs, but those who embrace it, who walk through it, come out with something rare. Wisdom, perspective, purpose. These are not bought or taught. They are earned through experience. And once earned, they guide every future decision with clarity. Pain is a signal, not a sentence. It's a message that something within needs attention, care, and healing. When that message is heard and honored, transformation begins. Slowly, quietly, but surely. And that process is worth every tear and every trial. There will be moments when the pain feels endless. But pain, like everything else, is temporary. It doesn't last forever. What does last is the growth, the strength, and the self-awareness it leaves behind. And that makes the experience meaningful. In many ways, pain is a teacher. A strict one, but a wise one. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't play nice. But it always leaves a gift behind. A deeper version of you. A stronger heart. A sharper mind. And a clearer path forward. Those who learn to see pain not as an enemy, but as a messenger, unlock something powerful within themselves. They stop resisting life and start flowing with it. They become more patient with the process and more loving with themselves. Pain may be personal, but it's also universal. Everyone faces it. Everyone grows through it. And when it's shared, when people talk about it, write about it, or express it, it becomes lighter, less lonely, and more empowering. The invisible threads we spoke of in part 1 continue to weave through every painful moment. They are still at work, still designing, still shaping. Pain is not the end of the story, it's part of the story. And often, it's the chapter that changes everything. In the next part, we'll discover how what looks like a setback may be life setting us up for something greater. Every pain, every pause, and every closed door can lead to a powerful breakthrough. So stay close. The journey is just beginning. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to United Sports. There's more truth, more healing, and more strength to uncover in the chapters ahead. When setbacks become setups, every person faces moments when nothing goes as planned. These moments often feel like failure, like the universe has closed its doors without explanation. But what many don't realize is that these setbacks are not endings. They are setups for something greater, something a person cannot yet see, but will eventually understand. When the storm passes, the lesson remains, and that lesson always carries the seed of growth. Setbacks are not signs that you're on the wrong path. Sometimes, they are the very proof that you're moving in the right direction. Growth rarely comes with comfort. It often arrives wrapped in confusion, disappointment, and struggle. Life does this not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because where you're going requires a version of you that's stronger, wiser, and more resilient than the person you were before. It's in the hard moments, when everything feels like it's falling apart, that people learn the truth about themselves. They discover how strong they really are. They uncover how much fight is left in them. And most importantly, they begin to understand that setbacks are not a stop sign. They are simply a redirection, guiding them away from what's not meant and toward what is. When life takes something away, it's easy to feel defeated. But sometimes, what is taken from you is only blocking what was better for you. Closed doors are not rejection, they're protection. They guard you from situations, people, and opportunities that would have delayed your purpose. And even though the process may hurt, the outcome always has a reason behind it. United Sports believes that the greatest comebacks always come after the deepest falls. Because it's in those low places that clarity is born. It's when everything is stripped away that a person sees what really matters. They begin to value inner peace, self-respect, and growth. They stop chasing things that were never meant for them, and they start becoming the person they were always meant to be. Some people get discouraged when their plans fail. But sometimes, failed plans are life's way of teaching you that your vision was too small. You were thinking in limits. Life was thinking in abundance. You were planning for survival. Life was planning for purpose. And to get there, it had to shake up your world and wake up your soul. The truth is, nobody becomes great without going through something difficult. Every champion has faced failure. Every strong person has walked through pain. Every wise soul has been broken at least once. These setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the beginning of a new chapter that was impossible without the lessons that came from falling down. In the moment, It's hard to accept that something good can come from something bad. But with time, it becomes clear. That relationship that ended made space for a better one. That job that was lost led to a dream you didn't even know you had. That delay gave you time to grow. Every step back created the tension needed to launch you forward. When people stop fighting the process and start trusting the purpose, something shifts inside them. They stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "This is shaping me." That small change in mindset turns every problem into a possibility. It opens the heart to transformation, and it gives the pain meaning. There is a difference between failing and falling. Failing is giving up. Falling is part of the journey. The most successful people didn't get there by never falling. They got there because they always got back up. And each time they rose, they were a little stronger, a little smarter, and a little more determined than before. When you view life through this lens, setbacks stop feeling like punishments. They start feeling like training. Just like muscles only grow through resistance, the human spirit grows through challenge. What you go through strengthens what you carry. And what you carry shapes how you show up for yourself and others. Some people spend years angry at their setbacks. But when they finally see how those moments prepared them, they become grateful. They understand that if things had gone their way, they wouldn't have become who they are today. They see that rejection was protection. That pain was power in disguise. That delay was divine. The real shift happens when a person stops chasing comfort and starts chasing character. Comfort keeps people stuck, but character carries them forward. Setbacks reveal your character, refine your purpose, and return you to your truth. And when you rise from them, you don't just come back, you come back better. There's a powerful calm that enters your life when you stop fearing setbacks. You begin to see them as part of your path, not detours from it. You begin to welcome the hard days, knowing they carry lessons your soul needs. And you face life with more peace, because you understand it's all working together for your good. The people who walk through setbacks and still keep their head high, they are the ones who inspire others. Not because they're perfect, but because they're real. Because they've been through pain, and they still chose hope. They've lost, and they still chose to get up. That is real strength. That is real power. When setbacks come, don't run from them. Learn from them. Ask life, "What is this here to teach me?" And then listen, because the answer might be the very thing that unlocks your next level. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It's born through awareness, through courage, and through choosing to rise again and again. Every setback carries a message, and that message is often this: you are stronger than you think. You are not broken, you are becoming. What feels like the end is often a new beginning. What feels like loss is clearing space for abundance. Trust that what's ahead is better than what's behind. You may not have chosen the setback, but you can choose your response. And that response determines your future. You can stay down, or you can rise with purpose. You can complain, or you can build. You can regret, or you can reframe. That choice is yours, and it's more powerful than you think. As the story continues, remember that these setbacks are shaping a deeper strength within you. They are preparing you for the detours that will lead you to something far greater. In the next part, we will explore how those detours, though unexpected, are often the hidden roads that take you exactly where you're meant to be. The hidden power of detours. Sometimes the path a person chooses isn't the one life lets them walk. They may plan everything down to the smallest detail, yet life reroutes them unexpectedly. In that moment, it feels like failure. But over time, they realize it was not a wrong turn. It was a necessary detour. These detours, though uncomfortable, are life's way of teaching direction with greater wisdom. Everyone has faced moments when things didn't go as planned. A job interview that didn't lead to an offer. A relationship that didn't last. An opportunity that slipped away. In real time, these feel like losses. But when viewed from a higher perspective, they become redirections, steering someone not away from success, but toward a better fit for their purpose. The most powerful people are often the ones who were forced to adapt. They didn't become wise from always winning. They became wise from navigating uncertainty. Detours taught them to trust, to pause, to reflect. When something doesn't go their way, they don't panic. They step back and search for the lesson. That mindset turns confusion into clarity. In life, what seems like a delay is often preparation. The time you thought you were wasting is the time life was using to shape your character. You weren't being punished, you were being made ready. There are blessings that come only after growth. And growth happens when plans are disrupted, and comfort is replaced with challenge. It's easy to label a moment as bad simply because it didn't feel good. But feelings are not always facts. What feels painful today could be the doorway to your greatest transformation tomorrow. That's why detours must be welcomed with faith, not fear. They stretch your perspective and show you how strong you really are. So many people quit during detours because they can't see where the road is leading. But life isn't about having a full map. It's about learning to take one step at a time, even when you don't know what's next. Detours aren't dead ends. They are new directions toward deeper growth. And every person who's ever succeeded had to trust the unknown at some point. Detours also slow you down for a reason. In a world obsessed with speed and results, they teach the value of patience. They give you the space to think, to regroup, and to make better decisions. Sometimes the fastest way forward is actually to pause, reflect, and adjust your path. What feels like rejection is often protection. Life closes doors to keep you from walking into situations that could hurt you, limit you, or hold you back. You may not see it now, but in time, you'll look back and be grateful certain things didn't work out. Not because you didn't deserve them, but because you were meant for something greater. The strongest people don't fight the detours, they embrace them. They've learned that even disappointment has a message. Every struggle, every misstep, every delay carries a hidden purpose. Sometimes, the only way to learn who you are is to walk a road you never planned to travel. When a person trusts their detour, they walk with peace, not panic. They no longer resist the shift, they flow with it. That peace allows them to see with clearer eyes and make wiser choices. The journey becomes less about controlling the outcome and more about becoming the person they're meant to be along the way. Detours often remove distractions. They help you let go of what you don't need so you can focus on what really matters. Sometimes, life has to remove certain people, habits, or comforts to push you into your true potential. It may feel like loss, but it's really alignment. One of the greatest lessons in any detour is that timing matters. Just because you're ready doesn't mean the moment is. Life has perfect timing, and detours are its way of syncing you with that timing. When it finally arrives, the delay will make sense, and you'll walk through the right door fully prepared, not half ready. Detours remind us that life is not a straight line. It twists, turns, and bends in ways we never imagined. But that doesn't mean the destination is lost. It simply means the journey will be richer, more meaningful, and filled with unexpected wisdom. In these moments, a person begins to understand that the process is just as important as the goal. Who you become along the way is more valuable than what you achieve at the end. And often, it's in the detour where the most powerful parts of you are discovered. The world teaches people to fear uncertainty. But uncertainty is where growth lives. It's where faith becomes active. It's where dreams are tested and character is built. Detours lead people out of their comfort zone and into their calling. They make the story worth telling. The people who trust the detours become leaders, mentors, and inspirations for others. They don't hide their pain, they share their process. They turn their lessons into light for someone else's dark road. That's the power of trusting what doesn't make sense yet. When everything seems unclear, it's not a sign to quit, it's a sign to keep going. Clarity doesn't always come first. Often, it's only after walking forward in faith that clarity arrives. Life rewards those who don't give up just because the road changed. In time, detours create resilience, a kind of quiet strength that doesn't need to prove itself. It's the strength that comes from walking through confusion and still choosing to trust, from falling down and still getting back up, from not understanding everything and still believing that everything happens for a reason. As the journey continues, it's important to look back and connect the dots, to realize how every delay, every shift, and every unexpected turn shaped the person you've become. That realization is where gratitude is born, and gratitude turns any detour into a divine direction. In the next part, we'll explore the chaos of life and how even in our most uncertain, out-of-control moments, deep lessons are being taught. Stay with United Sports as we continue this journey of discovering how life is always working for you, not against you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to United Sports, because the path to your best self is still unfolding, one part at a time. Lessons behind the chaos. Life doesn't just happen in a straight line. It moves in waves, turns, and sometimes total confusion. But even in the chaos, there are lessons being written quietly behind the scenes. When someone feels lost, life is often giving them a chance to find a better direction. The confusion is not the end. It's the classroom. And inside that chaos is the beginning of clarity. It's easy to understand life when everything makes sense. But real growth comes when nothing makes sense, and yet you choose to keep going. That is strength. That is faith. And most importantly, that is the moment where deep transformation begins. Those who learn from chaos don't run from it. They listen to it. Every setback carries a message. Every disappointment hides a lesson. That missed opportunity could be teaching patience. That betrayal could be teaching boundaries. That long season of loneliness could be developing inner strength. Nothing is wasted. Life recycles every moment, even the ones that hurt. Some people wait for things to become calm before they start living. But peace doesn't always come from your surroundings. It comes from how you interpret your surroundings. Chaos outside doesn't mean there has to be chaos inside. When a person learns to remain still on the inside, the world loses its power to shake them. Those who rise above life's challenges are not lucky, they are prepared. They've been through enough storms to understand that not every cloud is a curse. Some clouds bring the rain that grows the garden. They've trained their eyes to look beyond the moment and their hearts to believe that something good can still come from the worst days. When life takes a turn you didn't expect, it's not punishing you, it's redirecting you. Many people discover their true path only after everything else falls apart. The job they thought they needed disappears, and they finally chase their dream. The person they thought would never leave walks away, and they discover self-worth they didn't know they had. The beauty of chaos is that it doesn't leave you the same. You can't go through it and remain who you were before. It challenges your limits. It reveals your true values. And most of all, it teaches you what truly matters. That is the silent gift behind the storm. Sometimes, the chaos reveals the people who were never meant to stay. It clears the space. It reveals the truth. And while it may feel painful in the moment, it saves you from deeper heartache later. Life isn't just protecting your future. It's preparing it by removing what doesn't belong. Growth rarely looks graceful. Sometimes it looks like breakdowns, mistakes, and long nights of questioning everything. But if you look closely, you'll see that something is being built. Patience, strength, and a new kind of resilience that no comfort zone could ever teach. Life's biggest changes often come disguised as endings. But they are really beginnings wearing different clothes. The door that closed might not reopen, but a new one will. And when it does, you'll walk through it wiser, stronger, and more prepared than you've ever been. In chaos, you meet the real you. Not the version shaped by routine or comfort, but the version shaped by survival, by growth, and by faith. And that version is closer to your potential than you've ever been before. The chaos didn't come to destroy you. It came to introduce you to yourself. If everything always went your way, you'd never have to fight. You'd never build courage. You'd never develop patience. The pressure you feel isn't here to crush you. It's here to carve something within you that's been waiting to emerge, something powerful. Clarity often comes after the storm, but wisdom grows during it. While others are waiting for life to be perfect, the wise are learning through the imperfections. They don't need life to be easy, they just need it to be meaningful. And meaning can be found even in the mess. Sometimes, all a person needs is one lesson to change their whole outlook. Like learning that peace isn't found by avoiding problems, but by facing them with a new mindset. Or realizing that letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. Especially when you're letting go of things that weigh you down. Life doesn't give you answers all at once because you wouldn't know how to use them yet. It reveals lessons step by step at the pace you're ready to grow. That's why trust is so important. You're not behind. You're being taught in the order that fits your journey. The pain you feel today might be the strength you offer someone else tomorrow. People who rise through chaos often become guides for others. They carry wisdom, not just wounds. They've seen the fire and walked through it. And now, they shine because they've been refined. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear the path. They remove the noise. They make space for what truly matters. And once the noise is gone, you can finally hear your own voice again. That voice knows who you are and who you are becoming. Even when nothing makes sense, you can choose to believe that everything has meaning. That belief doesn't take away the pain, but it gives you purpose inside the pain. And with purpose, you can endure anything. The greatest minds, the strongest hearts, and the most compassionate souls were shaped in the furnace of difficulty. They didn't come out bitter. They came out better. Not because life was kind to them, but because they learned how to turn their wounds into wisdom. This journey is not about having a perfect life. It's about learning to grow through an imperfect one. And the lessons behind the chaos? They're shaping a version of you that's capable of reaching heights you never imagined. Keep walking. Keep learning. Because your story is far from over. In the next part, we will step into the fire that transforms, growth through adversity, and see how the hardest seasons can lead to the most powerful breakthroughs. Stay close. Keep growing. Like, share, and subscribe to United Sports to continue this life-changing journey. Growth through adversity. Growth rarely happens when life is easy. It comes in moments of tension, in seasons of loss, and through challenges that stretch the soul. Adversity, though uncomfortable, holds within it the secret gift of transformation. When a person walks through the fire and refuses to give up, they do not come out the same. They come out stronger, clearer, and more prepared for what's next. The lessons hidden inside adversity are not just about surviving difficult moments, but about discovering new parts of yourself. Strength you didn't know you had, courage you hadn't used yet, patience that only shows up when everything else falls apart. These qualities don't appear in comfort. They are developed when you are tested. When someone loses something they once held dear, whether it's a person, a dream, or an opportunity, it can feel like the world is falling apart. But often, in the silence after the storm, clarity begins to rise. People begin to understand who they really are, not based on what they had, but on how they stood when everything else was taken away. Growth doesn't come all at once. It's slow. It's uncomfortable. It can feel like taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. But every time a person chooses to keep going instead of giving up, they are expanding their capacity. They are growing roots, not just reaching for the sky. And without roots, nothing can truly stand tall. Some of life's most painful moments become the exact lessons we needed to evolve. The heartbreak taught us compassion. The rejection taught us self-worth. The failure taught us persistence. If life had always said yes, we would have never learned how powerful a no could be. Every adversity is a mirror. It shows a person who they really are when the comfort is gone and the spotlight is off. It reveals the mindset, the grit, the resilience they've built or haven't built. And that truth, while uncomfortable, is necessary for growth. Because growth begins with honesty. One of the greatest powers a person can develop through adversity is the ability to reframe their perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" That simple shift turns a victim into a student and eventually into a leader. No one becomes great without pressure. Just like a diamond is formed under extreme heat and weight, a person's character is shaped by what they endure and how they respond. It is not the adversity itself that defines you. It's your attitude in the face of it. People often wish for a life without pain. But a life without challenge is also a life without depth. It's through the struggle that we find the story worth telling. It's through adversity that we gain empathy, purpose, and understanding. The people who change lives are often the ones who have been through the darkest tunnels and chose to carry light. There are no shortcuts in personal growth. You cannot skip the struggle and still expect to become your strongest self. Adversity teaches discipline. It teaches responsibility. It teaches what no book or course ever could. How to stand firm when everything around you is shaking. When adversity knocks on the door, most people try to avoid it, run from it, or fight against it. But those who grow through adversity learn to welcome it, not with joy, but with readiness. They say, "This too will grow me," and that mindset shifts everything. Sometimes, adversity shows up to push us toward a decision we've been avoiding. It forces us to move when we've been stagnant. It ends things that no longer serve us. Though it feels like destruction at first, it is often a divine construction in disguise. One of the greatest forms of maturity is learning not to react, but to respond. In adversity, emotional control becomes a superpower. When a person can remain calm in the storm, they begin to see clearly. And clarity leads to better choices, better actions, and better outcomes. Adversity humbles the ego. It reminds us that control is limited and life is unpredictable. But it also strengthens the soul. It invites us to surrender to the process and trust the journey, even when the map is unclear. And in that surrender, we find peace. People who embrace adversity become unstoppable, not because they no longer feel fear, but because they've learned that fear doesn't have to decide their future. They've faced enough battles to know that pain passes, but growth remains. There is a moment in every difficult journey where a person gets to decide, give up or rise up. That decision, made over and over again, is what builds unshakable character. Every time a person chooses to rise, they are not just moving forward, they are becoming someone new. True growth through adversity isn't about becoming hard or emotionless. It's about becoming wise. It's about learning what matters and letting go of what doesn't. It's about standing for something deeper than comfort, like purpose, integrity, and truth. The storms of life are temporary, but the wisdom gained from walking through them lasts forever. And that wisdom doesn't just serve the individual. It becomes a light for others who are still walking their own difficult paths. Your healing becomes their hope. As we grow through adversity, we start to see how connected everything is. The pain we once cursed becomes the reason we now lead. The loss we thought would break us becomes the very lesson we share to help others heal. Nothing is wasted. And as this journey continues, we begin to realize that adversity wasn't the enemy. It was the teacher. And every lesson was preparing us for a purpose far greater than what we imagined. In the next part, we'll explore how trusting the timing of your life unlocks everything you've been waiting for. Trust the timing of your life. Some things in life don't make sense right away. They test patience. They stretch faith. But over time, the dots begin to connect, and the story becomes clearer. Life has a rhythm. It doesn't rush, and it never runs late. It arrives when a person is ready. That's why timing is everything. When someone truly learns to trust the timing of their life, they stop stressing and they start living. Many people struggle not because they lack talent or effort, but because they are trying to force things that are not yet meant for them. A seed planted today doesn't bear fruit tomorrow. It needs time, sunlight, rain, and quiet darkness underground before it ever breaks through the soil. In the same way, people need time to grow, to mature, and to be prepared for what they've been praying for. All the pain, all the detours, all the mischances, they were never meant to destroy a person. They were preparing them. Life holds people back not to punish them, but to position them. Sometimes, doors stay shut because the heart isn't ready. Sometimes, a dream is delayed because there's more strength needed to carry it. The delay is not denial. It's protection. It's preparation. When a person begins to understand this, something inside them shifts. They stop comparing their timeline to others. They stop feeling like they're behind. They start focusing on their path, their pace, their growth. They no longer chase success in panic. They walk toward it in peace. Because deep down, they know that what's meant for them will never pass them by. From the beginning, this journey has been about understanding that everything happens for a reason. Pain had a purpose. Setbacks were setups. Detours brought deeper lessons. Even chaos brought clarity. And all of it, every single piece, has been shaping a person for this very moment. That's why trust is not just important, it's powerful. It's the foundation of peace. Trusting the timing of life means letting go of control. It means understanding that not everything will happen according to personal plans. And that's okay, because often, life's plans are better, richer, and more meaningful than anything a person could have imagined. What seems like a delay today might be the exact reason for a breakthrough tomorrow. Sometimes, things fall apart to make space for something greater. Sometimes, people walk away so the right ones can enter. Sometimes, you lose something to find yourself. And when you trust the timing, you start seeing the beauty in these endings. You stop fearing them, and instead, you start embracing them as signs of something new and better ahead. This level of trust doesn't come overnight. It grows with every moment a person survives what they thought would break them. It deepens every time they look back and realize that what once hurt them now healed them. The more they reflect, the more they begin to believe that they are being guided, even in silence. Timing teaches patience, and patience is the quiet strength of warriors. It's the belief that good things take time and that real growth doesn't come with shortcuts. It comes with faith, with endurance, and with the ability to keep going even when results aren't immediate. That's what separates those who only wish for a better life from those who build one. The journey up to this point has been about growth, healing, and purpose. But now, it becomes about peace. The kind of peace that doesn't come from outside situations, but from an internal trust. When someone truly believes that life is not happening to them, but for them, they no longer panic in moments of waiting. They breathe, they listen, and they continue. Many people chase happiness like it's a destination. But happiness is not a place, it's a perspective. It's knowing that the present moment is enough. That every step, even the slow ones, matter. That the waiting is just as sacred as the winning. When this truth sinks in, life becomes lighter. It becomes more meaningful, more fulfilling. The reason why trust matters so much is because without it, life feels chaotic. But with it, life feels like a journey. Even the unknown parts begin to feel safe. Because when someone trusts the timing of their life, they believe that they are exactly where they need to be. Not behind, not ahead, but aligned. This doesn't mean everything will be easy. There will still be challenges. But now, those challenges won't shake a person, they'll shape them. Because trust becomes a shield. It becomes a reminder that the future is still unfolding, and that everything experienced so far has not been wasted. Not the pain, not the waiting, not the lessons. There will be days when doubt creeps in, days when progress feels slow. On those days, remember this truth. Life is not in a hurry, and neither should you be. What's yours is finding its way to you. What's meant for you is already being prepared. All you have to do is keep showing up and keep becoming the person ready to receive it. True transformation comes not just from action, but from alignment. Aligning with your purpose, your truth, your values, and trusting that everything, yes, everything, is falling into place, even when it looks like it's falling apart. Trust is what turns confusion into clarity and waiting into wisdom. There's a quiet kind of confidence in those who trust the timing of their life. They don't rush. They don't force. They flow. They move with grace, not fear. They make peace with the unknown, knowing it's just the space where miracles are still being formed. That's the mindset of someone who's not just surviving life, but mastering it. Every single lesson in this audiobook was meant to build this mindset. From the invisible threads of life to the pain that had a purpose, from setbacks to growth, from detours to trust, each part led here. And this final truth is the ribbon that ties it all together. Everything in your life is happening at the right time. Believe that. So walk with peace. Speak with intention. Live with trust. You're not late. You're not lost. You're on time for your destiny. Let this truth anchor your days and guide your steps. And whenever you feel uncertain, come back to this. You are being prepared, not punished. You are being positioned, not forgotten. Life is working for you always. And now, as this journey comes to a close, remember that it's not really the end. It's a new beginning. A beginning where you live with more trust, more peace, and more purpose. This is United Sports, and we're honored to have walked this path with you. If this series helped you in any way, please like, share, and subscribe to United Sports, because your growth journey has just begun.